law. Okay, Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Today is Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni. Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni is beautiful, it's very unique, because in many ways it's unique. Erstens, as we said in the Musaf today, for every, it says, I actually always used to repeat the name of the Bnei Yissaschar, but I saw it's already way before the Bnei Yissaschar, that what you say, Chodesh Aleinu is a Chodesh Hazeh, each one of them corresponds to 1 month of the year. Toiva, Bracha, it's 12 of them. So what happens to Chodesh Adar Sheni? So many of the schools they add in the Shana Mubarak they say the Chaparas Pesha. Nusach Chabad doesn't. You could have a lot of explanations why that is, but it's a special month and it balances out. We hear the Rebbe has a sicha. What the Rebbe explains, if you want to balance out the Shnois HaChama and the Shnois HaLevana, the solar calendar and the lunar calendar, it's basically, I think, a difference of 11 days. It's 11-day difference. So why have 11 days? So balance it out. Add 11 days. No. If we're already doing things, we're going ahead. And we add a whole month. A whole month. And technically, we don't have to. So it's a Chodesh Hashem Nepach Lahem Esas L'Simcha. And obviously, many more halachas of Adar apply in the second month. Most importantly, Purim. We don't have it in the first month. And it's, as the Gemara says, it's the Chodesh, which is Mismach Gula L'Gula. Gulas Purim to Gulas Pesach. Nisei Nisim Nasalhem. All right, so I want to, people are rushing, and we just want to learn one halacha. There's a very famous saying, and I have a question on this just yesterday. A very famous saying from Simcha Bunman B'Shischa. He used to say that when the Leo and Navi said to the Nevi'ah Baal, "Hey, you're jumping all over the place. Make up your mind. Are you serving the Baal, Rachman al-Tzlan, or Mil Hashem Elai?" So he used the term Ad Masai Atem Paischin Al Shnei Seifim. How long are you going to jump between the two doorposts? Make up your mind. Here, other door. So they say a vart from Simcha ben Shishcha that there are two Simanim Shulchan Aruch that have one sif, and the Yidden weren't keeping that once the two sifim. Simon Shin, I think it's Sudas Malava Malka, and Simon Tuf Yutes, which is Sudas Rosh Chodesh. So he's basically saying, you're not keeping Malava Malka. The Shnei Seifim means that's a very geschmack of art, and that shows you the importance of those two Sudas. But if you look in Hilchas Rosh Chodesh begins in Tuf Yud Zayin, and goes for a couple of pages, a small till Tuf Chavav. But the Tuf Yud Zayin is also one sif. Tuf Yud Zayin is one sif, which doesn't talk about the Sudas Rosh Chodesh. So the vart is, you can't ask your question on a vart, but maybe this one has an Amma or not. Okay. So what is it saying, Tuf Yud Zayin? I want to talk a little about Tuf Yud Zayin. Something that a lot of people know, but we'll get a little background to it. The Mechaber says, Rosh Chodesh muter b'asiyas malacha. You're allowed to work. You saw how he zipped out. Yeah? Rosh Chodesh, you're allowed to work. Now, halachically, the reason why Rosh Chodesh you have 4 aliyahs, and a regular Monday, Thursday, 3 aliyahs. The system, by the way, of the aliyahs, 3, 4, 5, it goes 3 for a regular day, 4 for Rosh Chodesh, 5 for Yom Tif, 6 for Yom Kippur, and 7 for Shabbos. That's how it is. Why is it systematically that way? It depends on your mindset. You have to, if it's tircha, it's tzibura. On a regular Monday, Thursday, money, I have to make $1. So you have come a couple of minutes. You can be in shul. So we say three aliyahs and arus. We help you. Rosh Chodesh, you don't rush to work, especially it's Sunday today. Rosh Chodesh, you don't rush to work. So we'll give you 4 aliyahs. Yom Tif, you don't work. So Yom Tiv, 5 aliyahs. Why 5? Because I also want you to spend time with your family. Because Simchas Yom Tiv. Yom Kippur, you have more time. Shabbos is even more greater than Yom Kippur, and Shabbos is 7 aliyahs. That's the halacha. So Rosh Chodesh, you're allowed to work. It wasn't accepted as Mikroi Kodesh, as one of the Yom Tovim. And that's the halacha. V'hanashim, however, women, what you know about this, right? And Nashim, the women, This is the mechaber. The women that took it upon themselves not to work on Rosh Chodesh, who minig toiv. He says it's a good minig. Actually, I want to tell you that I heard a geschmack word. Somebody said, why is the mechaber the Beis Yosef? What's the Tazarchah that we call him the mechaber, the author? Every person wrote a sefer. Why do we call him the author, the mechaber, the connector? So somebody said, geschmack word. The Gemara says in Brachos, from the day the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the Eibush is found in the Daled Amos of Halacha. The Beis Yosef keeps us connected to the Eibush because the Beis Yosef wrote this Shulchan Aruch, the Halachas. The only problem I have is this is a beautiful word, but the Rambam is Halachas, the Torah is Halachas. Why he got the title more than everybody else? It's a geschmack word. It's mechaber the Yidden to the Eibush. Anyway, so the Beis Yosef writes that women that try not to work on Rosh Chodesh is a minig toiv. Comes the Rambam, and he says, "V'im minig lasis mitzas malachis, v'loy lasis ktsasam." If the women have a minig, you know what, not to do laundry, for example, but they're not working at all. So if the women have a minig mekubal, certain things not to do on Rosh Chodesh, azlina and basar minig, you follow the minig. So in other words, there's 2 points. A man is mutter b'asiyas malacha. Women, minig toiv not to work. Again, it doesn't say a chiyuv. Minig toiv not to work. And the Ramah says if they show the lack of working by just doing certain things not to do, it's also follow the minig. So I want to tell you. Besides this, there's also a famous Tzavas Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. Tzavas Rabbi Yehuda Chassid of certain things you don't do in Rosh Chodesh. You don't take a haircut in Rosh Chodesh, for example. And we don't play around with Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. Rabbi Yehuda Chassid is spooky stuff. So much so that it's brought in Svarim. What happens if a kid has an upshinish in Rosh Chodesh? The Rebbe writes, don't do it in Rosh Chodesh, because as great as an upshinish is, you do it. We don't do it early. You'll do it after Rosh Chodesh. You don't play. I'll give you another example. Rabbi Yehuda Chassid says that you don't polish your shoes the day you travel. You heard about that? Sure. Yeah. So the question is always asked. First of all, when does the day start? Yeah, halachically, the day starts the night before. Okay. But what happens? You went to a bar mitzvah, you went to a chasna, you flew and you traveled already. Could I polish my shoes now before I go to the chasna? So somebody, a Rav once told me, don't play games with Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. You know, the day of traveling, don't polish your shoes.
In the airports, you have these people that are. It's like the only time I would ever.
That's right. And we lived very close to the airport in Minnesota. I'm going to confess my sins in public. And over there, they have the shoe shine. I only shined my shoes when I was taking somebody else to the airport before 9/11. Before 9/11. Today, you can't even get there unless you're flying. Anyways, that's the second Rabbi Yehuda Chassid.
You say why?
You don't ask Rabbi Yehuda Chassid any whys. You don't ask whys. There's all these things that you know. Don't chop down the trees, the fruit-producing trees. Rabbi Yehuda Chassid says, it's okay, that you can stand. It's symbolic for life. A fruit-producing tree you're cutting down. A lot of people have big issues with that. They have trees that are producing apples, and the squirrels are coming in. So there's ways around it. No, which one? Yeah. Okay, so but Rabbi Yehuda Chassid went even a step further. He said that's kisikra v'leir, but not a case where you have your backyard. Rabbi Yehuda Chassid also says, for example, all the things with the son-in-law and the father-in-law having the same name, or the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law having all these things is all Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. I wanted to say another one. All right. Anyway, let's go to this working halacha. What's the reason that women should not work if they preferable? So the Taz brings from the Torah. The Torah brings from Perkei de Rabbi Elazar. Since when it came to making the egel, which we just learned in Parashas Kisisa, the man was saying, "Okay, we got to bring gold and silver. We got to bring jewelry." And the woman said, "Hey, darling, you're not taking my jewelry." So the men were heavily involved in the Maisa Egel, and the women restrained themselves from participating in Maisa Egel. The Kach Nosalam HaKadosh Baruch Hu, therefore the Eibishter gave them a special reward, Shehiu Mishmaris Yeresh Chodesh Yosem HaAnashim. That they get a special reward for Rosh Chodesh that they celebrate Rosh Chodesh more than men do. Okay, that's one reason. So that's the first reason. Then the Torah brings another reason. The Yom Tovim that we have, Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, is Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. The Yud Beis Rosh Chodesh Hashanah and the 12 Rosh Chodesh Keneged Yud Beis Shvatim. And God forbid when the Yidden sinned in the Egel, not no Amehem, we took away the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh, the celebration of Rosh Chodesh from the men, and gave it away to their wives. To show that as a thank you or acknowledgement that the women deserve an extra yomtiv that men don't have because they weren't part of the chet. Good. So the Taz says, Taz brings from the Torah, says, I don't like that answer. Doesn't make sense. V'hiksha beis Yosef, hey, Chamar Abelazar l'kach noslem scharam. How could it say that the Eibishter gave them the reward of Rosh Chodesh and he made them, they celebrated the Kivan Shekvar Nasan Rosh Chodesh Yisrael? When did the Chet Egel happen? After Matan Torah. So B'Shas Matan Torah, the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh was already given. Who was it given? It's not a reward when you get to keep what you have. In other words, originally everybody got Rosh Chodesh. The Eibishter took it away from the men and said, "You guys don't deserve this," and women do it. That's called a schar. That's called a schar. You got it. We all got it already. Keeping what you have is a schar. Dinu shalayit v'lay mikri the sin is schar mashalaynitel man. It's not considered. It's not called giving a reward. Something that wasn't. If I take, don't. You know what? I'll let you keep your money. That's not called a reward. The Tiritz based Terutzim, and the Taz says the Beis Yosef asks this question, and he gives two Terutzim. Well, the Fi on the Azdaiti, however, I think the schar shehayishayach umuchel la'anoshim b'shvil zeh hashmira shalosh chodesh, that the woman, when she keeps Rosh Chodesh at her level, whatever reward would have gone to her husband if he would have still had that mitzvah, nital mehem v'nital la'anoshim. In other words, they still have their reward, which reminds me of another Gemara. The Gemara says, "Asar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shai Elamas." The Eibush is going to give every tzaddik Shai Elamas, 310 Elamas. The question is, what's the 310? Where does this number come from? So it says in Svarim that how many? You're guessing it. What do you think? You know the answer. There's 613 Tayag mitzvahs. 7 mitzvahs d'Rabbanan. So there's 620 mitzvahs in total. Half of 620 is 310. So the tzaddik, the great tzaddik, he gets 310 elements. Why not 620? Because the second 310 goes to his wife for encouraging him and pushing him to do the mitzvahs. Oh boy, you all know what to say now, right? So over here, it was taken away from the men, given to the woman, and not only given to the woman to get to keep what she could do. If she keeps Rosh Chodesh in her level, whatever it is, she'll even get the schar what the man should have gotten. Let me just read this. More than she would have gotten on her own. All right. Now, there's a very interesting thing. So you're not supposed to work on Rosh Chodesh. I mean, a man should work. A man could work. A woman, some women won't do laundry in Rosh Chodesh. I mean, that's what the Ramah is saying. If you have a certain minute, it doesn't mean not to do anything. If you have a certain minute, keep it. So over here, he brings a custom. First of all, the Machzas Shekel says, the maybe there's another answer to the Beis Yosef's question. Originally, when the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh was given, it wasn't given to men and women, and then we took it away from the men and let them keep it. Originally, when the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh was given, it wasn't even given to the women. because it's a mitzvah say shazman grama. Once it was taken away from the women, once it was everybody's listening. Once it was taken away from the men, now it was totally given to the man, to the woman. But I saw a fascinating thing here. It says don't work. I'm sorry. It says work. Yeah. There is no mitzvah saseh.
So how do you say that it was? I don't understand what you just said.
The mitzvah says Chodesh hazalachem Rosh Chodeshim. That women are exempt because it's a mitzvah saseh shazman grama. Now, because of taking away from the man, she has more.
She has a mitzvah to not work.
I'm not going to call it mitzvah same in the Torah. I did see something very interesting here. I want to just finish it off because, first of all, the Shari Tshuva comes along and says like this: I am pre Chodesh. What happens if a curling man says, "Okay, it's Rosh Chodesh. I'm not going to work. I mean, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking out the garbage." Says the Shari Tshuva, he brings in the Pri Chodesh. You like this? Men that come and say, Rosh Chodesh, I'm not working. You think he's Superman, right? Huminig Buddhist. That's Huminig. He's a Dreikup. He's a Dreikup. There's no mitzvah for a man not to work on a Chodesh. But over here, and I must quote one more line. Who was it? It says that nevertheless, if you have a worker, you're not allowed to make him work too hard on Rosh Chodesh. Give me 1 second. In other words, you said you're allowed to work like a horse today. No, you got to back off a little. Who was it? Here it is. Even the Bear Hater brings this. Even in the place where you're allowed to work, even in the place where the woman didn't take the minig, the husband can't say, "Listen, Rosh Chodesh is a regular day. Make sure everything gets done." You can't force her. If she wants to keep Rosh Chodesh, good way out.
Other days of the year you could force.
There's a shibud there.
The
same man, when he forces his wife to do anything, he should list his shibud and what he has to do. He has to provide A, B, C, D. You know, people don't know that. A person gets married, a person has a list of shibudim that he has to provide. He can't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Yeah, where's Parnasa? No man could force the wife to work. Ivrim or any Jewish slave. For the man, you can do whatever you want. Work hard on Rosh Chodesh. For you, there's no exemption. For Yenim, Rabbi Chadikov used to say, Rabbi Chadikov was the Rebbe's main secretary. He used to say, Mesiras Nefesh, demand from yourself. Don't demand Mesiras Nefesh. You could be a Mr. Frummy. And a man on Rosh Chodesh is a regular day. It's not Mikra Chodesh. But for a woman, even if she didn't have the minig, don't. And Bechlau, he says, for every other person, don't give them any hard jobs. So we have to celebrate Rosh Chodesh, and maybe this is a special Rosh Chodesh because Adar is Mishenichnas Adamar B'Simcha. In Chodesh of, it says how you mamayit B'Simcha. What do you do to decrease Simcha? There is no text. No text how to marbim B'Simcha. The Shulchan Aruch doesn't even bring this halacha Mishenichnas Adamar B'Simcha. The Gemara says it, but we all know it. But it doesn't tell us what should we do. Should we drink vodka? What should we do? So the Rebbe actually says that the halacha is whatever makes you happy. Everybody, it's not one system. It's not like the white kittel. You go one size fits all. No, whatever. Every person has his thing. For some people, to learn something makes you happy. For some people, a good steak makes you happy. Whatever it is, in Chodesh Adar, you got to do whatever you got to do to make you happy. Okay, we're down. Short and sweet.